If you manage people, you've probably heard the term, the Great Resignation. There's a chance you're even living it, as waves of employees burn out and leave their jobs during this pandemic. But it's important to recognize that the coronavirus alone isn't responsible for the Great Resignation of 2021. In today's video, we are going to talk about 5 major influences behind professionals choosing to leave their current roles and companies and join the wave of resignations. Number 1. Employees are burned out. Employee burnout is a long-term reaction to stress that usually comes with mental, emotional, and physical side effects. While 42% of employees were already experiencing burnout before the pandemic, that number skyrocketed to 72% a few months into lockdown, largely due to increased anxiety, heavier workloads, and people taking less time off. But many employers still aren't addressing employee burnout in their retention strategies. 1 in 5 workers believes their employer doesn't care about their work-life balance. And they've had enough. They're quitting in droves, looking for companies that care about their well-being. Number 2. Companies are not providing the flexibility employees need. When COVID-19 sent so many people home, employees realized how powerful it is to be able to decide where, how, and when they work. Which is why 9 in 10 employees continue to demand flexibility from their jobs. Too many organizations have dismissed this shift and expect people to quietly return to the office. But this will likely result in significant turnover, as 54% of employees are considering leaving their job in this new normal if they're not afforded some form of flexibility in where and when they work. It's important to note that this lack of flexibility is impacting some people more than others. It's actively keeping women out of the workforce who have been quitting in huge numbers during the pandemic due to the pressures of caregiving. Companies that don't offer flexible working options are likely to suffer more turnover among women and struggle to attract them. Number 3. Manager training continues to fall short. Managers have the most influence on an employee's job satisfaction, well-being, and likelihood to stay at a company. In fact, 57% of employees have left at least one company because of their boss. But being a manager isn't intuitive. It requires an entirely different set of skills than being an individual contributor, which is why training programs are essential. In these uncertain times, managers are playing an especially critical role in supporting their employees. Or at least, they should be. But due to a lack of effective training, many managers aren't giving employees what they need, causing them to burn out and look for new jobs. Managers themselves are frustrated by the lack of support from their employers. They've been asked to take on significantly more responsibility without being given additional tools, resources, or guidance. The employee retention numbers reflect the frustration. As of December 2020, the resignation rate for managers was nearly 12% higher than the previous year. Number 4. Employees are feeling underappreciated. Recognition, from a simple thank you to an experiential reward, is a powerful way to show your people that they're seen, heard, and valued. There's a reason why 69% of employees say they'd be more likely to stay at a company if they received more recognition. This is especially true now, when people feel isolated and disconnected from their teammates. Unfortunately, many companies have let recognition fall by the wayside during the pandemic. As a result, employees feel burnt out and unappreciated despite all the extra effort they've put in during this absurdly stressful time. And they're looking for companies that will recognize their contributions. In fact, a survey of over 1,000 US employees found that a third of workers who feel unappreciated are looking for employment elsewhere. Number 5. Higher pay. Perhaps, the most obvious and prevalent reason for people leaving their current roles are promises of higher pay. With such a tight crunch on the talent market and companies desperate to backfill positions, offers are quickly increasing to 15 to 20% above averages compared to just a few months ago. However, analysis shows that if an employee feels appreciated and believes they're an important part of a team, the end number on their pay stub is less of a contributing factor to their staying or going. The Great Resignation is evidence that employees may be shifting from a live to work to live mindset. With more companies calling employees back to the office, putting boundaries and the right policies in place is key. After all, the success of companies lies in the engagement, productivity, and happiness of the people who work there.